Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Cara ASMR. So this is a little different because this is not an ASMR video, but it's also not a booktube video. Let me explain. So back in January, I ended up stopping my vlogs for a few reasons. Mostly they were really difficult to edit, I didn't have the time, and they weren't doing so hot, people just didn't like them. So recently, in the past few weeks, I've been getting messages asking when I'm going to bring my vlogs back. And I never intended to bring them back at all. I mean, it just wasn't something I had in my future. But then I thought, what if I tried something a little different so it's not too difficult? So instead of doing weekly vlog uploads, I'm going to be doing a monthly vlog upload. Just one video, the last day of the month, no matter what day of the week it falls on, that last day, the video will go up, and that'll be it. I'm gonna try to keep them very short, like under 40 minutes or so, because no one likes to watch a long vlog, except me when I'm cooking or something, and I like to just have it on in the background. So this will start the first vlog, June. This is being filmed June 1st. I'll film throughout the entire month, and then you'll see it on June 31st. And it'll just be one vlog of the whole month. This is the first one. I'm gonna see if it works out. If it doesn't, go into the trash. If it does, great, we have a new thing on here. So without further ado, let's get on into it. Enjoy. Well, good afternoon, friends, on this lovely June 1st. I'm going to go check the mail. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I checked my Amazon tracking, and my book was supposed to be here Saturday, last Saturday, and it said it was delivered, but it wasn't, and it's Monday, so I'm going to check and just make sure maybe it was forgotten about, maybe it was overlooked or something, I don't know. I've been dying to read this book for quite a while. I just never got to it, because I was going to order the Kindle version just so I could read it immediately, but I really wanted a physical copy to go with, you know, the rest of my Hunger Games books, so of course I had to splurge a little and get it. I don't know why my town's in an uproar. Learn to freaking drive. Can't drive, get your license taken. Sorry, I have really bad road rage. A lot of people know that about me already. Yeah. Let's get on the bus. Get on the bus. Well, it freaking came, but I can't get it. Got enough ballot slips to last me a lifetime for my whole family. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to pick it up, because I still have the package slip. Yeah. Let's aim for Tuesday. I might be able to read this book before the end of the year. Well, good afternoon, friends. It is the second, a little bit past 1 p.m., and the book is here. Now, I don't know why, but I figured out why it took so long to get here. When it first came, it was rejected. So, for some reason though, the mail carriers around my house, they have a tendency to really be weird with the mail. Past packages have like come to the town like 10 minutes away from me, and then gone back to like West Virginia, and then come back. It's really odd how they work. I don't know why. Oh my god, you can see it. It's so pretty though. And I love that it's not matte. I mean, I'm loving the matte textured books, but the original Hunger Games books were not matte. And I'm so glad they stuck to that. I'm gonna dive right into this. I have nothing else to read. I did finish Cradle and All since the last time we talked. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was pretty bad. And I only gave it 3 out of 5 stars instead of 2 because there were some kind of creepy parts that I liked, but weren't enough to redeem it, like, all the way. Also, I ended up reading The Dolls by James Patterson. It was one of the book shots, the short ones, like 150 pages or so. I just wanted to read something else, so I read that. It was pretty good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, just because there really wasn't like a huge plot to it, but what plot there was, it was pretty good. That thing is bigger than my fist.
Here we go.
I'm so scared. Absolutely. I am terrified.
Why are you terrified?
Just shock it. Shock it? You can't shock it, it's too big. Don't! Just use the boot!
Wait.
I swear to God.
Wait.
That thing freaking jumps. I'm gonna freaking bury you.
Wait.
You want to shut your mouth right now? Just use the boot. Just use the boot. Use the boot. It's gonna move.
No, it's not.
What did I tell you?
It jumped a little bit.
Oh my god, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Why?
Here, that can cute it.
Yeah. It's in this weird little jerky dance.
I don't...
Hold the boot.
Oh, I see it. It's like...
My hand's getting tired.
Mood.
He's gone. He's gone now.
Holy crap.
Yo, come get your boots so I can step off this chair.
He's gone.
Come get your boots.
Oh, I am not about this life.
So it's 6:24 on the 5th of June, and I am in the parking lot of Save-A-Lot, the closest Save-A-Lot to us anyway, because I had to get some groceries, out of stuff for dinner, needed some stuff. So I'm kind of like agitated a little bit, because I have seen at least 20 people walking in and out of that store without a mask, 3 workers included in those numbers. And I'm pretty sure it's mandatory for employees to wear masks. I guess not. I mean, they're spraying the carts with disinfectant spray, which is good. You know, this is still going on. It's very serious. Mask it or casket. As for reading, I'm still reading this Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's really good. Admittedly, in the beginning, it was a little slow going. It took a while to get off the ground, but now that it has, it's moving very swiftly. It's a different look at the games, I feel. You know, the original trilogy, we had, you know, Katniss in the actual ring, in the arena, and with this one, it's more of a televised, so Cornelius is really watching through a television screen instead, because he's a mentor. But it is a nice look at, you know, what certain aspects of the 74th that we know and love from the Hunger Games, what aspects were invented in the 10th annual. You know, like mentors and betting and prizes and things like that. It's really fascinating. I think I'm a little over 200 pages in. There's nearly 600 pages, so not quite halfway, but nearly there. Like I said, it was a little bit slow in the beginning. It's why it took me a little bit to start reading. But now that I'm really into it, this headband is like hiding my face. But now that I'm into it, it's getting a lot better. So it is 9:15 a.m. on June 8th, Monday, and I've been up since 4. I took my medicine last night. That really hasn't been working, but I felt sick, and so I think that combined with the medicine just like conked me out. But I woke up at 4, showered, did some cleaning, you know, and then I sat down. I've been reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for the past few hours. I'm currently on page 391, chapter 25. So I read a good 200 pages this morning. Really good. I will say, when it got to it's split into 3 parts, as all the Hunger Games books are. When it gets to part 3, it kind of derails for me. It was just like a sudden snap of plot, like it was a complete 180, and I had no idea what was going on for a couple chapters until I kind of gained my balance. But it was kind of confusing. It's okay now. I feel like maybe she shouldn't have. If it was me, I would have just, you know, kept going with what was already happening. But again, I'm not a best-selling author of a franchise that the whole world knows about. So it's currently like 5 a.m. on the 9th, Tuesday, and I've been laying in bed most of the morning because my body said wake up at 2 a.m. So I've been spending most of the morning reading, and I just finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I want to talk about it briefly. So about third way through, like it's split into 3 parts, right? The third part kind of derails for me. It diverges from the plot going on, and it feels like 2 separate books, if I'm being honest. I feel like about chapter 21, it splits off into a separate book, and I feel like it could have been a second book. And I kind of felt bad about Snow. So, of course, you read The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and you see President Snow as this cruel leader who has some backwards thinking, but inevitably is like a dictator. And you read this and you see an 18-year-old boy, Cornelius, who has a troubled life and is trying to get by in any way he can, and then all of a sudden, you get the evil. It's really strange. I don't feel bad for him. It kind of felt like the entire book was just a big lie. Like, that in my emotion, like reading it, feeling bad for him, and then just being betrayed. Like, I felt bad for him after all he did, which I think is pretty much the author's intent when writing this. Great job. Besides the whole divergence with feeling like two separate storylines, it was really good. So it is close to like 5 p.m. I think on the 11th of June. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the 12th, I don't know. Days run together when you're in quarantine. So I've had a kind of crap day in the sense that I've just been tired. I feel worn down, groggy. I've had this frog kind of thing in my throat going on back and forth. And then when I breathe in, it's like cold. So it's kind of weird. I don't know what it is. I don't have a fever or anything like that though, so I'm keeping watch of everything just to be sure. Anyways, I woke up this morning though, and I had a package, and I didn't order anything because, let's be honest, my bank account would have just been like overcharged. Not about that life. But it was a package from one of you, and it was very sweet. So I'm gonna show it to you guys real quick. But it says, "Thank you for sharing your warmth and joy with you on YouTube. I love your channel and wish you all the best, Sarah." So thank you, Sarah. This is really sweet. I didn't even remember that I had stuff in my wish list because just my life's been... Anyways, so there was the lightning USB adapter, and this I've been wanting to... It hooks my Yeti mic up to my iPhone because sometimes it's a hassle to take out my camera and get it all set up and everything. Plus, when it gets warmer out, I'm gonna start planning, I mean, it's warm already. I'm gonna start planning some videos that are outside. Like go to the park because no one goes to it anymore, it's abandoned. Do some outdoor videos like in the creek and stuff. And I don't wanna have just the iPhone mic because it's not good quality, so I can hook up my Yeti. And this allows that, so thank you. And then there were 2 books. So there's The Selection by Cara. This is a book I've been wanting to read since like high school. I had a friend and she read constantly. I mean, I'm talking more than me. I read, let's see, last year I read close to 150 books. I think she probably, if I had to guess, 400 books, 500. She constantly reads. And I envy that because I can't read for long periods of time or my eyes would cross. Anyways, this is, if I'm not mistaken, about royalty and a prince and having to be selected, kind of like the Bachelor type style thing. But I've always wanted to read it. She loved it. She suggested it constantly, and I never got around to it. So this is gonna be great. I'm probably just gonna like abandon my next book plans and just jump into this. And then last we have probably my favorite book. Y'all know I'm doing, where are they at? There. A Cassandra Clare kind of marathon type thing for the summer. It's my summer reading project, and I'm halfway done. I am nearly finished with Infernal Devices. I'm not even halfway, I'm a quarter done. Once I finish Infernal Devices, though, I gotta finish Mortal Instruments. So this is Chain of Gold. It is the newest one that was released, and it is the last one I have to read in her books, because I don't think she has another one coming out until like September, and I'm not reading till then. So this is the last one I actually need that's her that's released. So thank you so much, Sarah. I love this cover. It is, I think it's leaves in her hair. And I'm not mistaken, I think this is a sequel to the Infernal Devices because I'm pretty sure the Dark Artifices that I have is a sequel to the Mortal Instruments. Maybe I have it crossed, I don't know. This is really pretty though. It has a picture of Tessa. And I think that's Jim over there. And then there's Will over here. It's really pretty though. Also, I'm still reading The Invoice by Jonas Carlson. Loving it. It is such a philosophical book on, not like Socrates or whatever, like philosophical, but in the fact that it makes you question, is your life good enough? It's kind of dark, right? But basically in their world, the better your life is, the more you pay for it. So, you know, it's the question of, should you appreciate what you already have? Should you strive for a better life? Or should you not try to bite the hand that feeds you? You know, things like that. But it's really good. I'm really liking it. If his other books are like this, I'm gonna read those too. But if the world was ending, you come over, right? You come over and you'd stay the night. Would you love me for the hell of it? All our fears would be irrelevant. If the world was ending, you come over, right? Sky be falling and I'd hold you tight. And there wouldn't be a reason why we would even have to say goodbye. If the world was ending, you come over, right? Right. If the world was ending, you come over, right? Right. Hi friends, so it is something, I don't know. And I am sitting in a gas station parking lot because my mom had to sell some stuff, I guess, from that Facebook trading. Oh, that is a big freaking crow. Oh my god. Anyways, I am waiting for someone to come. Wanted to update you on my reading. I finished the invoice last night. It had a bit of a weak ending, not gonna lie. I still loved it overall though, with the philosophy of it, of, you know, is your life worth enough money? Which money isn't life, but like it takes the concept of money and compares it to how much would you pay or how much would you be willing to sacrifice for a good life. But it was good. I started Clockwork Princess. I was listening to the audiobook, and honestly, I don't care for the audiobook. Ed Westwick did Clockwork Prince, and he did an amazing job. But whoever's doing this one, it's very thick. The accent is nearing London, but it has a little of a gravel to it, so it's kind of difficult to understand. Hi friends. So it is like 5 o'clock on I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. It's something. 17th or 18th, one of the two. And I am having to go get my sister from work. So I'm on my way to go pick up my aunt because I don't like to drive alone. California, here we come. I've been watching so many TikToks. Also, I've been reading Clockwork Princess, and it's really good. I love it. I'm loving everything she writes. And also, I've started this comic series called The Invisibles that I'll tell you about more later. But it has a trans main character, and oh my god, she's amazing. It is currently 5:35 a.m. I'm depressed, and I want Jello, so... I'm an extra sad bee tonight, so, this morning? Insomnia. I'm making 3 unnecessarily because I'm the only one in my house that eats it. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me real good? I'm a whisper because it's like 7 a.m. in the morning or something, and, I haven't been to sleep, but I have to be up at like 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. because I have to leave at 11. Because this is one of those days where I'm probably going to be recording quite a lot of stuff. I have to take my sister to work. Then I have to go pay my taxes because your girl has to pay in nearly 200 bucks. Then I have to go pay a ticket that isn't mine. It's someone else's. But they're to do that, and then I have to meet with a family friend. We're gonna have lunch in a park, like a picnic table type thing in our town. We've been staying quarantined, and so that we can do this and have a little meetup with her. So yeah, I have a big day. I have to exchange some medicine. I have to get some medicine, and then I have therapy at 4 over the phone. So this is a long day, and you'll probably see little clips throughout the day. I won't talk much through them, but it'll be like little snippets, you know how it goes. Gotta keep these vlogs interesting. Ooh.
It's a garbage can.
A garbage can. The first piece of garbage you put in your soda is gonna go flying.
I know that. Don't record me.
You're beautiful.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. That wind feels really nice. Slay. That's see-through, you know. So it's like almost 1 o'clock, and we're about to have lunch. I did everything I had to do. I can't pay the ticket in person, so I'm just happy about that because I hate courthouses. I'm still reading Clockwork Princess, and that's it. I haven't read anything else. I need to. It's a beautiful day though. I mean, the wind is blowing, and it's a breeze. It feels really nice out. So I have therapy at 4, I think, over phone. So until then. So I wanted to quickly show you the 4 books that I got. 3 of them cover buys, not gonna lie. So the first one is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mademoiselle 𝐬𝐨𝐜𝐿, I think, 𝐬𝐿. It's supposed to be the story of how Dr. Jekyll became Mr. Hyde. I've never heard of it, but these are Dollar Tree books, so all these were $1. I got 4 of them, by the way. So, I mean, it sounded okay. I've never personally read Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've always wanted to. I enjoyed the early black and white films adaptations, but I've never actually read the book. So this one is This Is Where the World Ends by Amy Zhang. I don't know what this is about, besides that it's about 2 friends who aren't friends anymore. I don't know. So then I got Lunchbox Dream by Tony Abbott, and this is a take on the civil rights movements in 1959. So it's like 2 boys, I think. Yeah, 2 boys, 1 summer week. One's black, one's white, and it's like the Jim Crow laws, things like that. It sounds really interesting. Then lastly, I got It Happens All the Time by Amy Hatvany. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a single thing. The dress looked pretty, and it kind of reminded me of like a horror mixed with romance, maybe. I don't know. Hi friends, it is currently like 7 p.m. or something on the 25th of June. It's Thursday, and I just got home. I am running a lot more than I thought I would now that the quarantine's been lifted. We're still taking precautions, you know, masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, washing your hands, not going out unless like actually need be. Like, we're not doing shopping or anything for like clothes and things like that. I don't know. We're doing essential things. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyways, today I had to go to Walmart to pick up my mother's medicine and get some, you know, necessities for the house, just toiletries and things like that. Also, we were out of peroxide, so we had to get some more of that because it works better than Clorox for cleaning. Hospitals use it, so that's fun. But while I was there, I, of course, had to stop by and look at the books because you know I'm an addict. And I got 2 books, and I decided
that I'm going to not finish Clockwork Princess this month. I only got like 5 or 6 chapters into it. So I'm going to restart it next month when I can like really focus on it. But I'm going to start one of these and I'm going to show you. So the first one I got was Paranoid by Lisa Jackson. This is about a girl who accidentally shoots her brother when she thinks the gun is a pellet gun, and years later as an adult, his death haunts her, and then more murders start happening that kind of link to her brother's death. I don't think I've read a Lisa Jackson book, maybe I have, but I hear her writing's really good, it's really high praised, and I just saw it and I thought, hey, let's read it. And then this one is the one I'm going to be starting because it's fairly quick, and I can finish it in a couple days, if that, really. And it's The Angel Experiment, the first book of the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. I have never read this series, but everyone has told me to read it. In school, it was like the series to read. And I never read it. And I remember there's a manga series, I think, that like an adaptation that goes along with it. People were obsessed, and I never got around to it. So this was like $4 on sale, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna finally jump in. I know there's a new one coming out next month, Hawk. So I think I'll read the series because his books are fairly quick. I've read 3 in a day before, his crime novels, because they're just so fast-paced, and the chapters are like 2 pages each. So you just zoom through them for them to be gigantic 600-page books. I'm thinking of starting Cherry because I want to read it before the movie comes out, but I know that's going to be a long way before we get the movie because, I mean, we haven't even got any Chaos Walking stuff yet. And I know Cherry is coming after Chaos Walking. But rumor has it from different people on Instagram and Twitter that next month in July is the digital San Diego Comic-Con, and that we're supposed to finally get a trailer. So fingers crossed about that, but I'm gonna go read, and I'm just gonna call in bed because I've had 3 hours of sleep. Hi friends, so it is currently like nearly 4 p.m. on the last day of June, the 30th, it's a Tuesday, and I'm going to do my reading wrap-up for you. So I took a break from social media for a while and from vlogging, like for a couple days, just so I could get away, clear my head. Wasn't feeling the best in my headspace for a little bit. I went and stayed with a family friend, got my mind off some things, got a haircut. I have a few, it was I think down to here, and so I got a couple inches off, 3 or 4 I think she said. I mean, I like it. It got rid of my dead ends. It feels better, and when I brush it, it's not like Tangle City down here. So it's fine, and my curls are coming back. So that's what I'm happy about. So in total this month, I ended up reading 4 books, which was not a lot, and way less than I wanted to get. I actually ended up starting like 3 books, and then either didn't want to finish them, or wanted to restart them next month, or just wasn't into them. And I'm also currently reading one that I'm only like 7 chapters in, and I haven't finished. So I'm going to count it towards July. So up first, we have Cradle and All by James Patterson. I think I mentioned this earlier in the month, but I have kind of started having an addiction to James Patterson again. I used to read him a lot when I was younger, and I just got out of it because he doesn't actually write everything that he writes. He does a lot of outlining, and then someone else does the actual drafting, and he just approves it. Regardless, it's good. I love Emily Raymond, his co-writer. She's amazing. Love her writing. So I read Cradle and All. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 star because it wasn't the best book. It was kind of everywhere. It had one plot here and another plot there, and I felt like, just to me at least, it was James Patterson trying to compete with the likes of Stephen King and Dean Koontz. This was written really early in his career. I think my edition was 2007, the reprint, but the original was in 1980. So he was, I feel, trying to compete with the demographic of readers who read horror novels like that, because this is kind of like a Rosemary Baby type thing, and it just wasn't great. It was okay at some parts. Some parts were honestly a little bit creepy because it brought in a lot of myth and lore from the Catholic religion. And my family has Catholicism in our blood, so that was kind of creepy, just to be honest, because some of the stuff that was mentioned I knew about as a kid. It was just like a lore we knew, but overall I just didn't like love it, which is just the way his books are. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, and they're really quick reads. So to me at least, when I read one and I'm halfway through it or something and I think, oh, this isn't that great, I still push myself to finish it because it can go on my TBR. So then I read another James Patterson book. I read The Dolls. This is one of those short book shots. Really enjoyed it. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. That was wrong. I ended up giving this a 3 out of 5 stars. I liked it. I don't know why I didn't give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think because it was a book shot and it wasn't expanded enough for me. So this one was about these androids created by a company that are basically sex dolls, but like hyperactive. So they look like people, they feel like people, like they talk like people. It feels like flesh when they touch their arms. It's really creepy. It's like a concept of androids taking over for people who can't have relationships or who can't get into relationships. And it was a great concept. There was promised murder, a mystery, but really there was only like 2 murders or something. And it wasn't a huge mystery of who done it. It was, we know who did it, now you just gotta catch them. But I think it could have been expanded. I think it was a concept that shouldn't have been explored in a tiny little book shot. It should have been explored in a larger novel. Because his novels are usually 300 to 500 pages depending, and his book shorts don't surpass 160, 170 around there. And this one was also co-written with a woman who won his competition when he did when he taught on those online videos or whatever, masterclass. She won a contest and she got to write the book with him. It wasn't terrible and I liked the writing, so good on that, I guess. So then I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. I've talked extensively about this book. It was basically the majority of this vlog. I liked it. It was an expansion on the Hunger Games that I didn't know I needed. I liked it enough to say it was a good addition, but not to say that it was a book we couldn't have just had like a 20-page short story. I loved it, but I didn't find it necessary, if that's the right thing to say. It wasn't one of those books that would have just completely, the Hunger Games series couldn't live without it, you know? It could have been a 20-page short story, or like one of those little companion books like Cassandra Clare does, like the Shadowhunter Codex. Do that with the Hunger Games. I liked it though. And then the last book I read was The Invoice by Jonas Carlson. This is a translation from Swedish, I think, and it is about a guy who finds out that on Earth, they charge you for living. So you pay a certain amount of money for how good your life is. And it's very philosophical. It made me think a lot when I read it. I ended up only giving it a 3 out of 5 stars because it was so strong throughout. And then at about probably the 3rd way through it, it just collapsed. It wasn't no dwindle, it was just collapsed down. It wasn't no... like, it's just that. And I felt like it just wasn't a strong ending, and it felt like a disconnect of 2 different stories in the end. And I just didn't care for that, so I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. So that is all the books I read. That is the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of different. I know you're seeing this today on the last day of June. And even if the future, hi. Hopefully COVID doesn't exist. So thank you so much for watching this vlog. And until next time, remember you're beautiful, you're wonderful, and you are loved. Bye. Y'all, I'm genuinely concerned that my house may be haunted. So if I'm ever filming and you see something behind me, please tell me in the comments. Please. Also, these kids keep riding their bikes outside my window. Like, by my kitchen, and I'm just not having that. They keep yelling at my doggy. I have no biting sign. They can't sue me.